Happy Valentines and or Galentines. It's time to make a ridiculous themed outfit. So here is my Valentine's themed outfit that I made a couple years ago. It's got a ridiculously big skirt. It's got all this nice little details kind of everywhere. Belt. Very cute. I've really only worn this dress once to a Galentine's dinner with a couple of my friends, and it's been so long since I've worn it, I found a lipstick in it. It's a pretty good lipstick too. I don't think they make it anymore. But at the dinner, the waitress looked at me and I had my hair up and it was like a ponytail with a cute little like swirly thing right here. And she asked me if I was a kindergarten teacher. Not that there's anything wrong with kindergarten teachers, but like, that was not the vibe I was going for. So let's make a new one, and nobody will confuse us for a kindergarten teacher in this one. I was just scrolling through Pinterest, as I do, looking for ideas, and then I found this. I think it's from an Archie comic, but look at this. I saw this and I immediately was just like, oh yeah, yep. That's it, that's the one. There is nothing else for me. Only this will do. And I happen to have the perfect fabric for it. Ta-da! And if you're asking like, Annie, why are you about to destroy this dress? I'll show you. While it's cute, it has some major fit issues. And I am quite proud of this dress because it's the first thing I ever pattern drafted all on my own. But it was the very main issue with this dress is that I used the wrong fabric. I should have used an organza that's like really wispy and flowy, but I used the other one. I can't remember what is it? Put it here. So it's like, kind of, just like puffs out. It's very cupcakey. I can't get it zipped all the way because poor construction in the back. But there's a lot of yardage in this. Way more than I need for this project, so she's gonna get sacrificed. It has pockets on both sides. Wow, look at me. That's great. Good job. It's also kind of itchy. It's really itchy. Nice dress. Too bad I look like a cupcake. Let's take this off and pull up the purple table and talk about how we're gonna make our new Valentine's dress. I only have kind of a plan. I'm gonna be using the Wanda pencil skirt again. And please, I know I've used it in the last 3 videos, but I promise I will not use it again for a very long time. And then we're gonna be using the stand-with bodice to go with it because I have already altered it to match up with the seams of the Wanda skirt, and it comes up very high on the neck, and I think I only need to make minor alterations to make it go around the neck so that I can add a little like faux turtleneck, little collar that I need. This is kind of a lot. That's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna find a sleeve pattern, long sleeve, and then find a puff sleeve pattern because I know I have both of these things somewhere in my stash. And I'm gonna sew the puff sleeve onto the long sleeve and then stuff it with some tulle and then sew those together as one piece to the bodice. That way our sleeves stay nice and puffy because nobody likes a deflated sleeve. For the heart, I have no idea. Don't know at all. I just have fabric for it. That's it. This will be the heart and the sash across the waist. I have my leftover satin that we'll use as the base of the dress and for the sleeves. And if I don't have enough of this dress is also lined with a pink satin fabric. It's not as nice as this one, but it'll work. This organza for the bottom, I got 2 yards of it and I might need more, kind of looking at this. But it's really got this super flowy drape. That's gonna look really nice. And then I got a little bit of red tulle to go under it just to kind of give it a little bit of body. I think what I'll do is make the red bottom part all one length and then make sure it's all even and sew it onto the dress and then clip off what I don't need, because that seems a lot easier than trying to line it all up at the bottom, because I would like to hem it before I sew it on, because it's going to be a lot of fabric and it would just be so much easier to hem it in the beginning than trying to hem it when it's attached to the dress. I have lace. Okay, get this cute lace for all the little it's the little detailing on the cuffs and the collar, and then also be used for the little bows on the sleeve. The tights we're not doing because I don't know how to make tights, and this is not a tights kind of material. And then the hat, because yes, we are going to make the hat. I think probably like, honestly, just a piece of cardboard, cut out, kind of put the fabric on there and glue it, and then the trim. Stick a little clip on it. Nobody will ever know. She also has these cute red hearts for earrings, and then there's another one here on the bow of the dress, and I might try my hand at resin. I've never worked with resin before, so I don't know. So I don't, okay. I feel like this is a lot. I'm feeling slightly overwhelmed, but I did this to myself, so we'll be okay. Okay, let's start with the body of the dress. That seems like the easiest thing. Let's go.
3 days later.
So I really struggled. I threw everything off the floor, which I don't know why I did that. The impulsive thoughts won over the logical ones, I guess. I kind of stared at everything for a little while and just wasn't sure how to proceed. So I left the room. And then the next day I came back, looked at everything again, and left the room. None of the ideas seemed to really work in my mind. I couldn't figure out how I would make the fact that this comes up around the neck that it's really throwing me. And I thought, like, what if I just make it a cute little whoa. What if I just make it a cute little like low cut thing? But I feel like that's cheating. I wanted to do it like the picture. So in the very wee hours of the morning, when my brain was supposed to be sleeping, I came up with the idea to plastic wrap and duct tape. We're gonna make a pattern. I've only done this once before on somebody else, so I don't know how well this is gonna go, but let's give it a shot. This is not easy to do by myself. It's very loud. This is becoming too hard to do on my own, so I'm gonna go get some help from a friend, and I'll be back. This is not my favorite thing I've ever done. Firstly, going to establish center. A rough center line. I'm gonna add this seam. Let's see, I want it to go from here up on my shoulder, down this way. Okay, let's put my waist in. And then the neck, according to our reference image, the bow comes up our hip. What side is this? Left. So it's going to come to here, but then come down to here. So we want to, and then we need a side seam. Oh god, this is awkward. Oh no, this is going to be impossible to do on the back. Okay, it's going to have a center back seam. Got the front drawn. I cannot finish the back without help. This is very hard. I'm gonna go get somebody to finish the back and then cut me out of this. Cutting straight up the center back because that is where the zipper is gonna be. Also, say hi to Sam. Come here. Say hi. Say hi. This is the office assistant. He's not very helpful, but he sure is cute. Okay, I'll be back. Here she is. Twins. My limbs were very, very cold. My chest and back were really sweaty. This was not fun. Okay, let's cut out the pieces. This is a very big, confusing mess. So I am going to trace this all on paper. So I have made a crucial mistake. Well, okay, I've made a couple. I transferred the pattern to paper, and then I cut the paper out, and I was gonna add seam allowance before I cut it out, but it didn't. So I just kind of guessed on the seam allowance when I cut it out of the fabric. Now, the major mistake I made was I forgot to add in ease. So she's a little tight. Okay, some minor adjustments I need to make is I've clipped in the shoulder right here because it was super tight and I couldn't move. So I just need to adjust around the arm. Collar actually is okay. Also, I missed sewing right here because I forgot to add seam allowance when I cut out the center back. And I didn't have any muslin or bed sheets. So all of this is, you know, when we were all making face masks? It's all leftover fabric from that, so putting it to use. This is why you never throw anything away. Okay, so I think I'm gonna retrace all the pattern pieces one more time, fix the arm's eye on both the front and the back, and add some ease so that, you know, I can move, be a human, and walk around, not be a stationary Barbie. I think what I'll do is when I add the seam allowance, I'll just add a little smidge extra onto each seam, but not maybe like 2 millimeters on every seam. That should be good. And I'm not gonna make another mock-up because I like to live dangerously. Also, my hair is giving like real Miss Frizzle vibes. I'm just gonna cut, just felt the zipper snap a little bit more. I'm gonna cut all the pieces the same length, and then I'll go through and just kind of trim it by hand where I need it to be. But I'm honestly surprised at how well this worked. And I guess if I really wanted to, I could make a basic bodice, like a bodice block out of this. I'm gonna make the adjustments to the pattern and then come back and we can start working on the real thing. I have everything except the parts that are red cut out. I was worried about how translucent this is, and you would definitely be able to see my undergarments if I didn't put a lining on it. So the only thing I really had for a lining was the silver taffeta. So I think what I'll do first is put the lining together. That way I can make sure it fits, because I didn't do a second mock-up after adding the seam allowance plus ease into every seam. So hopefully I didn't like go too far and make it too big. So let's go ahead and put the lining together, and then we can come back and see how it looks and see how we're feeling about it. Mistakes were made. Oh, why didn't I make a second mock-up before I cut everything out? I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. If I wasn't making this for a video, I would probably throw a temper tantrum and throw everything on the floor and leave this office and probably not come back for a while. And maybe never touch this project again. But gonna be a grown-up about this and go eat something and then come back and fix this. Okay, let me fix this and we'll come back. I'm having a very low energy week and I just don't have it in me to be a perfectionist. So I've decided that since this is basically a costume, I'm gonna treat it as such, and we're gonna go off the 6-foot rule, which means if you can't see any imperfections 6 feet away, they don't exist. So I'm not basting anything. I'm just using a metric buttload of pins, and I'm going very slow and using a walking foot. So here's the front. I think it's coming out great. I did go through and trim the seams, the seam allowances that needed to be trimmed, but we're on the right track. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the back together and then combine the front and back. So, ta-da! It's actually really cute. It gives me major like Fran Drescher vibes. Like I just need a black turtleneck and some black pantyhose to go with it. Cute. And I honestly expected more puckering in between the layers since I didn't baste everything down, but it's pretty good. The next thing we need to do is the red neck. So I need to cut that out and attach that, and then we can put the zipper on. After we get the zipper on, we can we can put it on for real and then figure out how to like cut it and do the white part. We still gotta add that. We still gotta add that big ass heart. Okay, I really have to take this like one thing at a time or I'm gonna quit. So let's focus and do the neck. She finally coming together. I need to stand perfectly still because this is the itchiest fabric in the entire world. This is why we have a lining. It's gonna be fine. Okay, I'm gonna take this off because I might die with how itchy it is. This makes me think of Lydia in her wedding dress in Beetlejuice. And I think I might need to make that now. Maybe in the future. I'll put it on the list. Okay, so I got the bottom of the skirt, got our tulle, and we got our organza. I was afraid there wouldn't be enough, but I think we're good. I think this is good. I couldn't be bothered to hem all of this, so I just took a lighter and lightly toasted the edge so it won't fray. How am I gonna put this on the dress, you might be asking? I don't know. I think I might grab Clara and put the dress on her and kind of gather everything up and then start pinning. That seems reasonable. Okay, let's do that. Okay, now that the skirt is attached, I'm feeling very underwhelmed. I just don't know. I mean, the skirt in the picture just has so much body and this is just like limp. Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should do layers or just make this a longer piece and gather it tighter so that there's more. Maybe this fabric is just wrong. Maybe I should have got something that's like this. I'm gonna think on it. I'm not unhappy with the whole project though. I think this is really coming together. I just don't know about this. Makes me a little sad. I'm gonna sleep on it. Come back tomorrow. I've slept on it and I talked to a couple of my buddies, Kristen over at Whimsy Hopper and Justine at Red References. I'll link their channels down below. And basically we came up with she needs more layers and also I basically need to make a little petticoat for her. So that's what we're gonna do. Also, I think, because Clara here is my height. So I think this is just a bit too long. I think it needs to sit like right at my knee, like just on top of it. So we need to raise it a few inches. For layers, I have more of this flowy organza. This kind of looks like a different color now. That's okay. Totally fine. I don't care. If it's a different color, it's gonna go underneath. So, got that one. We got some tulle for another layer, some more tulle in a slightly different color for another layer, and this, which is, what is it called? Oh, I keep calling this organza. This is chiffon, this is organza. Okay, so this one's got a little bit more like body to it. And this one's very like drapey, like water. So we're gonna take these off, make this layer shorter. I guess we're just gonna build it up layer by layer. I think this is gonna take me all day. This is more skirt than I bargained for. So let's get busy, I guess. I got a lot of fabric to tear up. I love doing this. Okay, so this is all one layer. This is all one layer. I'd like to do 2 layers of the chiffon. We now have 4 layers to the skirt. 5. I forgot about the organza. Okay. Okay, we know the tulle's the bottom. So I'm thinking the tulle petticoat, the organza, chiffon, tulle, chiffon. This is so many yards of hemming. I'm just gonna do the same thing I did yesterday for the hem. I'm just gonna light a candle, pray I make it through all this, and just use the flame to hem the bottom of all of this. I guess I don't need to hem the tulle, but definitely the chiffon and the organza. Can anybody else say organza without like saying it like RuPaul? Organza. It is very hard. I guess we're gonna go layer by layer. We're gonna start from the top and work our way down and just pin as we go. So, I'm gonna get sewing in a little bit. Okay, feeling a little better now that I got the skirt put on, but we still have a lot of work to do. Also, I broke Clara last night. She's very old, and I tried to pick her up, and she has this spring down on her stand, and I think it snapped, and so Clara's lost some height, which is unfortunate because she was my exact height. She's a little wee lady. Also thought I broke my toe. I think it's okay. I think the heart and the sash I'm gonna hand stitch on so that you can't see any visible stitching. So then I'll have to do that last. Okay, let's do the sleeves. My room is an absolute disaster. Check this out. This is enough of a puff sleeve. This is huge. It's gonna be great. And then we have some scrap tulle and that we can use to stuff the sleeves so that it'll stay nice and poofy. Okay, let's make these sleeves and come back. So to make this sleeve, I just took some measurements of my wrist and my bicep and then added a hoop from another pattern, and I kind of forgot I needed to put my hand in there, and I cannot put this on. This is as far as it goes. My hand is very stuck in here. Why must I have such a big hand? It's like the cat. What's that from? Cat was chasing the mouse goes through a sleeve, and then the cat gets stuck, and he's... Where's that in Cinderella? Anyways, I must go deal with this now. Take a look at the sleeve. She's really coming together now. Is this the stupidest thing I've ever made? Very possibly. She's looking great. I'm pretty happy with how it's going so far. I love how absolutely humbling sleeves are. Sleeves are the mean girls of garment pieces, and I will not explain, but you know exactly what I mean. Okay, let's attach this. There we go. Okay, I'm not quite sure where to go from here. We don't have too much. We got some little bows in the sleeves. We need to put the heart and the sash. I guess let's make the sash. What am I thinking for this? How about just a long curved piece of fabric, sew it long ways, flip it, attach it. Done. It really did not need to be so difficult. And then I need to make a bow, like a big bow. Let's do the heart. Okay, how does that look? Yeah. I'll add seam allowance to it and kind of just like fold everything under and then hand stitch it down from the inside before I put the lining on. Oh shit. Fine. I'm gonna go deal with the sash and the bow for the bottom. Put the heart on and let's go ahead and get those resin hearts made. Editing Annie here. I deleted all the resin footage because the video was getting too long and it wasn't that interesting anyway. So let's get to the reveal. This is not a sit-down dress. I think this came out excellent. There are some things that I could have put a little bit more effort into, like attaching the sash. It is barely stitched down. Did it by hand. They're very long stitches. If it got caught on anything, it would just come right off. My resin jewelry could have been better, but that was my first attempt at resin and I think they're fine. I didn't actually attach the lining. It's just kind of like on. It's just on me, kind of shoved it in the dress and then got myself into it. So they're not really attached, but I needed it in there to, for one, because this fabric is a little bit sheer and also because this fabric feels like it's made out of fiberglass and it itches really badly. I think my little hat, perfect. Yeah, really, honestly, no complaints. This is very cute. This is like stupid how cute it is. Well, that's it, you guys. If you've been checking out this cute little suit Claire is wearing, you can see me make it in this video. But that's all I got, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye. Just don't know what to do with myself.